What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Daily. We are back at you for a Saturday, and it is a jam-packed Saturday. March Madness, the Louisiana Derby, the Jeff Ruby Stakes. My goodness, there's a lot going on. By the way, 11 hockey games going on for those of us that like hockey. So let's get to it. Let's not waste any time. We got a lot of things to go over today. Papa Dude, we're going to start it off with you. Gonzaga now minus 3.5 against Kansas. I think this is a fascinating game. Total sits at 151.5. This was minus 4.5. Now it's 3.5. Who do you like in this one?
It is dropping, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Kansas was overly impressive the other night against Stanford. And we can't say the same thing about Gonzaga. They were very impressive. When I filled out the bracket, I think I picked Kansas. I haven't looked. I choke. But anyway, I'm taking Gonzaga today. I don't think Kansas can beat them if Gonzaga did the other night. So I'm going to go with Gonzaga minus 3.5.
I'm with you. I think Gonzaga is the play here. I was super impressed. McNeese now was one of those teams. Everybody's like, yeah, that'll be a team that's tough to beat. And Gonzaga beat them so easily that I was just kind of like, I'm not taking James Madison or Grand Canyon or any of those teams the next day. And I think what we found out is maybe Gonzaga is just really damn good because James Madison and Grand Canyon had no trouble winning their game. So I'm with you as well. Gonzaga for me. Magic, who you got?
I like Gonzaga with the line here. I also think you can play, if you want to do a player prop, if you're not sure about the line, go with Hunter Dickinson over 17.5 points for Kansas. With McCullough being out, like you guys are saying, the Jayhawks are relying heavily on him. Here's a bad beat for you that I think it got unmentioned. Dickinson had, in game one of the tournament, the over-under points for him was 19.5. He had 19 points, went 9 for 14 with 7 minutes left in the game, and he didn't make a single shot after that. If you were sitting there with 7 minutes left holding it over 19.5 and he's on 19, you're like, I got this, son of a bitch. I don't have this anymore. But right now their prop is 17.5. And I think that's, to me, that's too low. He's going to score. They're going to rely on. It's going to be a harder game here for them for sure against the Gonzaga Bulldogs than Samford. So, yeah, I'll take Hunter Dickinson over 17.5 as a player prop.
All right, we'll see what happens in that one. And you're right. You got to think they're going to rely on that quite a bit. All right, let's go Texas, Tennessee now as we keep the rundown going. Tennessee, 6.5 point favorite here over the Longhorns. Total at 145.5. Orange of any color makes us puke, and there's a lot of orange in this one, Papa Dude. So which orange do you like in this one?
Well, that's a really stupid question. Tennessee orange doesn't bother me too much. It's a totally different color of orange than the other two assholes teams we hate. So, yeah, doesn't bother me. This is you picked another dandy. It's the line. I think Tennessee's going to win 6.5. I don't know. I was not impressed with Texas whatsoever the other night. Sometimes, and this is a good point, Kevin. Sometimes Tennessee shows up, sometimes they don't. I'm going to go ahead and lean. I think they're better than Texas. I do. So if they play well, I think they cover the 6.5. I can't trust Texas.
All right, I've got a take on it, but I'll save it for the last as Magic. We're going to get his take first. Who you like in this one, Magic?
Hook 'em horns. Sorry, that's going to get me kicked out. It was fun. Bye, guys. Bye. I just because of the spread, I think Tennessee wins, but I'm going to lean Texas. I also like what Rob said here. Under first half, the Longhorns, they beat Colorado State. It was 56-44, and they went 1 for 14 from beyond the arc. And Tennessee, when they're on their game on defense, they guard the perimeter very, very well. So I think under first half might be the best bet here for me.
So here's my hot take. Okay, Houston, Iowa State, Baylor. I think they're very good out of the Big 12 conference. I think the rest of that Big 12 is average, mediocre, maybe even a little below average. And I think you look at Texas Tech, they got smoked. You look at TCU last night, they got smoked. If Colorado State would have played just an average game, they would have beaten Texas. Colorado State played one of the worst basketball games I've ever seen a team play at any level. Okay. And they still had a chance in the last 10 minutes. I think the Big 12 has 3 very good teams and the rest of them aren't very good. I think Tennessee will blow Texas out today. I really believe that. Tennessee is going to play better than Colorado State. That I'm confident on. So I like Tennessee a lot in this game. And again, I it's not really a knock on the Big 12, but I just feel like after those top three, the rest of them are, you can kind of just, they're grab bags. They're okay, but they're not great. So I'm going to stick with that theory today. All right, let's go. This is the one I'm looking most forward to. Oregon and Creighton here. I really like the Ducks, but I do have Creighton in the Final Four. So what will I do here? Creighton minus 4.5. Total sits 146.5. Who you got?
Well, the old tournament committee has set it up again, haven't they? You got Dana Altman, who coached for years at Creighton with great success, that went out to Oregon, matched up against his old team. I love the way Oregon's playing. He's done a great job as usual. I just think Creighton's better, and I like the way they played the other night too. So I'm going to go Creighton minus 4.5 to beat Oregon and end their run today.
All right, he's going to go with Creighton. Magic, who you got?
Creighton, big. Ryan Kalkbrenner is going to shut down the Ducks, shoot them out of the sky. I mean, you think about, you got Hunter Dickinson we just talked about, but what a Hunter name in Kalkbrenner. It's like, man, that guy spreads fear, and he had the Big East Defensive Player of the Year, third straight season. Creighton, big in this one.
All right, it's going to be a clean sweep. I'm going to go with Creighton. Oh, boy, though. I'm worried about this one. This Oregon team has been so good lately, and I have rode that Oregon train the last couple of weeks. I am jumping off that train and getting on the Creighton train, but damn, I just really like this Creighton team too much. I think at the end of the day, they've got too much offense, too much shooting. I think if Creighton shoots well, they win. So I'm going to go Creighton minus that 4.5, but that is a very, very tough matchup for Creighton. The Ducks are hot. The Ducks have a great coach.
Yeah, you do. I'll tell you something that could play out today to change our minds about the Pac-12. If Oregon beats Creighton and Arizona beats Dayton, and the other one is Washington State, if they win, then they're all three in the Sweet 16, and we were all saying the Pac-12 sucked.
Yep.
They have a chance today. I think that would make them Colorado. Oh, Colorado's still alive too. I don't think they've lost a game.
They have not. Yep.
So we were all knocking the Big 12 or the Pac-12, and they're playing as well as anyone. So these are huge games for them today. And Oregon's one of those teams. They're shooting the ball well. They'll figure out a way to stay in the game. So, yeah, if I were you and I had Creighton in the Final Four, this would be a really tricky game for me today.
Well, I'm nervous about this one for sure. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a great game. And if I cared a ton of like, oh my gosh, so much is on the line, I would be sweating bullets. But instead, I'll just enjoy it. And if they lose, I'll go, oh, well, what the hell? So
another bracket down the tubes.
Yeah, who cares? We'll be back next year. All right, let's go to the racing now. The race of the day. We got two of them. We're going to do two races, and I guess we could probably guess what it is. We're going to start with the Fairgrounds first here. Fairgrounds race 12. That is the Louisiana Derby. Magic. Who do you like today in the Louisiana Derby?
I think this is a 2-horse race. I love your top pick. It's who I made my top pick as well. So I'll let you talk about him. I also want to mention the number 2, Catching Freedom, a horse that the Risen Star effort was so bad compared to what we've seen from this horse before that you just have to scratch it off. He broke from between horses, first time facing winners. He was in the slop. The breeding says maybe he should like the slop, but he never looked comfortable from the moment he broke from the gate. Now with the scratch of Triple Espresso, he's breaking from the rail. He's going to be able to use that speed a lot, his early speed to get a good position a lot better here. And also, I don't see, you look at the 12 Track Phantom, I have distance concerns with him. I think, a mile and the 16th is perfect for him. Mile and 8th, where we saw what happened with Sierra Leone running him down. We're going even farther here, and Track Phantom's going to have to come all the way from the 12 post. I think Hall of Fame can sit a perfect pocket trip and show off that same elite talent that he had on January 20th when he had a very similar trip to what I imagine he's going to have here. The biggest concern for me, I didn't like the way Ricardo rode him in the Risen Star. But again, that also could just be that the horse was a mess the entire time and wasn't happy. Doesn't matter. A Pratt Daddy could have been on him that day, and the horse just would have said, I'm not doing this. I am absolutely not doing this today. So I like Hall of Fame a lot here at 8-1, but I also really like, and my top pick for the Magic Mike Show was the 5, Catching Freedom.
I'll go ahead and just talk because you mentioned Catching Freedom, who's both of our top picks, and I am cautiously optimistic is how I would describe it about Catching Freedom today. I think he's really going to like the stretch out. I just hope they can get him to kind of quit the goofiness in the stretch. And honestly, if they could figure that out, and they would have figured it out by the last race, I think he would have won the Risen Star. When he turned for home, I thought, oh my God, Catching Freedom, here he comes. He's going to be the horse. And he just did his thing where he was all over the track. Now, when you're facing Just Steel down at Oaklawn in the Smarty Jones, you can do that and still win. But when you're facing Track Phantom in Sierra Leone, you can't do that kind of stuff. And you're never going to be able to do that kind of stuff and beat like the highest of the high horses in your division, which is not great. And he still couldn't do it, So we've got Flavian Pratt, and I'm not saying the jockeys did anything wrong on Catching Freedom before, but Flavian Pratt, you got the training of Brad Cox. I think today's the day. I really, really think today's the day for Catching Freedom. So I've got him on top. I'm with you all the way on Hall of Fame. I'm scared of him, but I couldn't do it again. I just couldn't. So, all right, Papa Dude, who do you like in this one?
Well, you know who I like. There's no reason to even ask me.
Yep.
So I am worried about the post for Track Phantom. He's got to get out in front and go, fast early. And I think that could hurt him in this lengthy race. So that's why I'm not real confident in him. This is going to be tough to come from that 12 position and get the lead like he likes to do. So that's the first thing you got to look for in this. How does he break? How does he get out there? I'm not too high on Hall of Fame yet. He's going to have to show me something. So I couldn't put him up there. I'm with you guys. Catching Freedom is the one I'm most afraid of. So 12 or 5, either one. I went with the 12 simply because it's been more consistent. Got a better judge on him than we do Catching Freedom. And Magic made me laugh a little bit. He wasn't very happy. Well, what if he's not very happy today? So, he may just be one of these pissy horses. He just not happy. So you never know about him. So
listen, they spent $1.5 million on him. He better get his attitude figured out real fast.
He better. That's right. I got a $2 win ticket on him. But Agate Road, did anybody look at him?
I loved him in Jeff Ruby Stakes if he would have stayed there. I don't like him as much on the dirt. That's my problem.
Well, I wonder, I guess Fletcher doesn't think that way, maybe?
I know immediately after he ran in the Sam F. Davis, I was told Louisiana Derby. He's definitely going to Louisiana Derby. And I thought that's odd, but hey, he knows more than us. He has won this race before with a horse where you go, how did he win it with this horse or get second? I thought it was odd when he said it, but we'll see today. To me, like he's a horse that has had really good success on the turf. Take him to Turfway Park on the synthetic, and that'll translate better. That was my thought, but here he is. So
yeah, I think it's odd. That horse has ran pretty well. Hasn't ran poorly. So if something goes wrong, and he likes the dirt, he could come up there and win it. So that one scares me a little bit. I'm going to go with the Ass Man in March.
All right. Yep. We were talking about that yesterday. It's like when the calendar turns to March, Daddy Ass is winning these races. That's just all there is to it. Down at Oaklawn at Fairgrounds, he's winning everywhere. And the Ass Boys teamed up for one for me yesterday. So, I don't think it's ever a bad pick to pick Daddy Ass. All right, let's go to Turfway Park. Turfway Park race 12. The Jeff Ruby Stakes is where we'll go now. This is kind of a shit show to handicap. I don't necessarily think these horses are bad, and I don't really think we should downgrade the winner. I mean, I think a good horse is going to win this race, but boy, it's a lot of question marks. Magic. All right, who you got here in the Jeff Ruby Stakes?
I hate saying this. I really do. My top pick, I kept handicapping this, and I had 6 different on-top winners at one point for the Magic Mike show. I ended up going with the number 4 Noted at 10-1 to win this race. The breeding, I mean, you can see how well he had done on turf up until the last race, but the breeding by Cairo Prince tells me that synthetic should absolutely be something he handles. This is Luis Saez's mount for the Jeff Ruby. Luis Saez is leaving Fairgrounds where there's a million reasons to run in Louisiana Derby, and instead he comes here for a $300,000 purse in a grade 3 race. For me, Saez picking up the mount is huge, but if you watch the Kitten's Joy again, sure, this horse never fired, but nobody was closing in that race. Your top 3 finishers were all right there in the front to begin with, and nobody was closing in that race. If you scratch that off and you forget the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, when he absolutely didn't belong in that dirt race there, all of his turf races fit here. He's going to need to take a little bit of a step forward, but this will be his second start as a 3-year-old. And again, if you scratch off the Kitten's Joy, any improvement off of that stakes win at Gulfstream Park in the Pulpit to end his 2-year-old season, I think makes him a very strong contender here. This is also a horse that has shown plenty of talent in class. Remember, he beat Dornoch back at Monmouth last summer. So I went with Noted. I did like your top pick in here, Aaron, and I also think the 3 Lucky Jeremy has a chance to steal this on the front end because you've got top connections locally in Billy Morey and Gerardo Corrales, and this horse has been working lights out on the synthetic, so he should like the surface. If he gets loose early, watch out for Lucky Jeremy.
All right. I think that's a really good analysis, and I nearly did the same thing you did. But let's go to Papa Dude here. Let's see who. I honestly, like you look at Noted. You draw a line through that last race. You kind of explain what may have happened. If he kind of has shown he can run on anything so far, so why would he not handle the synthetic? And if he does, I mean, he's got the class for sure. But let's go to Papa Dude first, and then I'll get to me. Papa Dude, who did you go for here in the Jeff Ruby?
Well, you know, when Magic's focused, I hate to follow him because he makes too much sense. This, you know, some days he's off, but when he's focused, I just get mesmerized listening to him explain this, even though he's dead wrong. But anyhow, no,
Listen, I'll stop you when you're telling lies. Keep going.
I went with a 10 endlessly. Had won 3 and then didn't run well in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, but finished 8th, but was only 3.5 behind. That's not awful. Then came back and won on the synthetic the next time out. I don't know how good he is, but I think he's good enough to win this one. Lucky Jeremy is the other one. I think this horse could get away from him. He could get the lead and beat him. So he finished 3rd in the Sunland Derby. He has won a small stakes. He has not run poorly. So that's one that's scary. I did put Noted in my top 4 because somebody had to go in there. I don't really like the 6 very well. But, Noted has a big a chance as any to win, no doubt. I'm going to go with this 10 endlessly, and then I've got the 3 Lucky Jeremy in second.
I think we're kind of on all the same horses because Lucky Jeremy's one you guys talked about, and I almost pulled the trigger with him and thought, there's just so many question marks about, the synthetic. Will he like it? How good really was the Sunland Derby? Like, if you think it was really good and Stronghold's a good horse, then sure, Lucky Jeremy should be good here. I'm with Papa Dude. I kind of went with the class of endlessly. I thought, man, he's been up against really good horses, so that's not going to bother him. He's won on the synthetic, so kind of went with the known versus the unknown. Not saying that's the right way to go, though. I think I wouldn't talk anybody off about anybody in this race. It's that kind of race. There might be a horse that's been running on all the dirt races and comes up here to the synthetic and loves it and just relishes it and wins, right? I mean, that could happen here. I know a lot of people are kind of excited about Seize the Gray for Lucas. It looked pretty good last time, takes to the surface. I don't see why he's not going to be in with a chance. So there's a lot of different angles to play. I went with the kind of the known entity here in endlessly. All right, let's get to the best bets, guys. Magic, we're on horse racing. We're on Turfway, so I'm going to let you start first. Tell us your best bet of the day.
I got so excited when I saw my girls back again today. I love this horse, Botanical. She was my pick for the Kentucky Oaks last year because of how impressive she had looked at Turfway. And I said, if she just takes to the dirt, watch out for her. She didn't take to the dirt. That's okay. She got some time off. She came back in January. She went gate to wire over this course going a mile. She's shown in the past when she won the, not Cincinnati Trophy, the Bourbonnette Oaks, which is actually also on this Turfway Park card, that she can handle a mile and a 16th, no problem. She loves this track. She's absolutely talented. She beat Chop Chop, who I think was her main competition in her Brad Cox stablemate. beat that horse with no problem off of the long break when Chop Chop had been running a bunch of races already. I don't see how she doesn't take a step forward and just continue her domination here at Turfway Park. And one final note, Jockey Luan Machado, I don't know why Brett Cox doesn't use him more often in the last year. 5 mounts, 4 wins, including last out with this horse on Botanical, his first time riding. So Machado riding the hot hand. The horse is just, God, I just love this horse so much. I got so excited when she was back. I was like, all right, Botanical, best bet. Let's do it.
I love it. It's my best bet on the Turfway card today, or most likely winner. So I love it. She is just a beast at that track. Hopefully she gets out to a nice early lead and just takes some gate to wire. So Turfway Park race 9, number 9, Botanical. All right, I'll go to me real quick. I'm going to go with a first period under here today. Horse racing for me has been strange all week. I like a lot of horses, but not to a level where I want to put them as a best bet a lot of times. But so today was the extreme of that. And once you took Botanical, it's like, yeah, I like some horses at fairgrounds, but I don't totally trust them. So I went with under goal and half first period between the Blues and the Minnesota Wild today. That is minus 105. I forgot to put the price on there. It's minus 105 right now. Look, it's self-explanatory. These two teams just don't have a lot of prolific players, especially the Blues. The Wild they have one and Kaprizov, but that's it. But both teams play a pretty defensive style of hockey. They've matched up a couple times here lately, and it's went under. And it's probably going to go under again unless something weird happens. So I think St. Louis Blues, Minnesota Wild, under a goal and a half first period is the best bet of the day for me. All right, Papa Dude, I hope you're right about this one. Tell us yours.
I bet you do. I love your pick. I don't remember the last time the Blues scored 2 goals in the first period. I don't think. Maybe they did at Ottawa the other night.
Probably today.
Yeah. and Magic was talking about the kid from Kansas had 19 the other night. He needed 19 and a half, and he had 7 minutes. He didn't get it. Last night, we were watching a hockey game, and I had Dallas 1.5, minus 1.5, and they were up 4-2 with the empty net, missed an empty net twice, then easy shots, missed it. Then they finally got the empty netter in to make it 5-2, and they were offsides.
Yep.
Right. And it was 4-2. And I'm sitting here going, this is a great bet. And I'm not going to cash this damn thing. So,
yep.
Then
well, go ahead.
They got an icy.
Yep.
And they bring the face-off down with 20 seconds left, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then get the face-off. Pittsburgh got it. Made a great shot, and 9 times out of 10 it goes in, and the goalie saved it with 5 seconds left.
It was like a wicked deflection.
It was unbelievable. And
I don't know how it didn't go through the 5 hole.
It just hit the goalie.
Yeah, it was a miracle. And you're right, they missed. And the one empty net, one of them, it was like that would have had to be a pretty good shot, but the other one they missed. He's across the red line. He's between the red line and the blue line. It's just him and the net, basically. And he just whiffed the net. It was unbelievable. But anyway, you cashed it. Anyway, that's a good news.
It all ended well. That's 2 hockey bets in a row for me.
Yep.
So I should have stuck with it probably. But North Carolina is 3.5-point favorite over Michigan State. I know Michigan State is traditionally good in this tournament. No, you don't have to tell me. They were unbelievable the other day against Mississippi State. My God, they hit every 3. They looked like national champions the other day.
Good.
They ain't going to do that today. They're not. This team is 20-14. Mm-hmm. Okay, you're 20-14. You're going to get beat sooner or later, and you're going up against the big boys today. I think that line should be higher. So I went with North Carolina minus 3.5. If I don't get this one, I'm not going to worry about it because I really believe they're much better than that.
I believe no matter what side you're on here, there's no way you can argue that this isn't a vast overreaction to the first round.
Yeah.
Right? Even if you say, well, you know what? I'm still on Michigan State today. They played so good. You still have to look at this and go, I'm not getting enough points. Really, you're not. Even if you're on Michigan State, come on. You need more points than this. Yeah. Win or lose, that we talk about this a lot on our show. Whether you win, whether you lose, That's up in the air when they tip off the ball in this situation. It's like whatever happens. Once it starts, it's March Madness. Who knows? But there's no way you can look at this game pre-game and say, well, yeah, that line, 3.5, that's enough for Michigan State. No way. It's a vast overreaction. I think you've got a perfect spot. I think this is a great pick. But like I said, that means nothing when they start playing. But this should be a bigger line, no doubt about it. So I'm with you. All right. I guess that's it. My gosh, we made it. All right, let's go to the best bets here. It will get you out of here. I'm going to go with the Blues Minnesota Wild under a goal and a half first period today. Magic's going to go Turfway Park, race 9, number 9, Botanical. And then Papa Dude going to go North Carolina -3.5. We're now 3-3 for the week, still down $45, up $7.75 for the year. Magic, tell us what's happening today.
Well, hopefully my best bet doesn't fall to her knees out of the gate like yesterday, because that was, half a second in. All right, well, we're not cashing this bet. Today, we've got the live show covering the Jeff Ruby Stakes, Louisiana Derby, Fairgrounds Oaks, and the Essex Handicap will kick off the coverage. That's going to be at 5:50 Eastern, 2:50 Pacific, 4:50 Central for you folks in the middle there. We'll be on for just a little over an hour. It's nice that we'll have 4 races. Boom, 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 boom. If we get some dead time, you bet your bottom dollar we're going to be talking college basketball as well.
Yeah, Papa Dude, you will be joining us, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
What else have I got to do?
Well, exactly.
It's Saturday. There's no subbing. You can't get out of it.
Nope.
You got to be on.
And I have no life, so.
He's got nothing. Well, neither do we. So 3 guys all alike.
All
right.
Here every day.
Yeah, exactly. Should be fun. It'll kick off at the Essex. I have a pit in my stomach already, and it's hours away for the Essex with Ain't Life Grand. I know this is a big day. It's a really big day, and I'm glad we're going to kick it off with that. So I'll leave it at that and save the rest of it for the show. All right, guys. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Come back with us for live coverage. It's going to be a lot of fun today. We'll laugh. We'll cry together. We'll see what happens. All right, guys. We will see you then. Everybody have a good rest of your day up until we see you again for the live show.